everyone, it's Ari. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a Q&A style video so that I can answer some questions you guys had about my recent trip to Prague. Right, so the first question I received is asking about how long the flight was. I flew from Heathrow Airport in London into the Prague Airport in Czech Republic, and it said on the ticket around 2 hours, but actually we didn't fly until like half an hour on the plane. Like, we were already in the plane for about half an hour and we still got there around the same time. So I would say maybe like an hour and a half the flight took. The next question is asking about the exchange rates. I didn't really have to worry too much about exchange rates because I actually used this debit card called Starling. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it before, but it's a UK based online bank and they have this like mint green debit card, and basically it's a card which allows you to use it abroad free of charge. So you can pay for everything abroad free of charge, but if you withdraw from an ATM overseas, you will have to pay the ATM machine fee. So the actual card doesn't charge you. So I think we withdrew about £200 worth of koruna. I think that's the Czech currency. I'm saying that right, I hope. We withdrew about £200 worth, and I got charged, I think, like £3. No, 3 korunas, which is even less than. Yeah, it's very, very small. It's basically like £1 or something, or even less than that. So I didn't really have to worry about exchange rates because Starling card actually uses the official MasterCard exchange rates. So it changes day to day, but it was pretty good when I went, I would say. And it's very helpful. Like, I would honestly recommend it to anyone because I have traveled all over different countries, Europe, Asia, and it's worked perfectly every single time. So I would highly recommend you having to look at it. Someone also asked about easy phrases to get by, and to be honest, I didn't really had to learn any. I mean, I probably should have. Like, it's always good to learn a few things every time you go to a country, but because Prague is such a tourist heavy city, everyone knew how to speak English. And we got there around the afternoon and we left in the morning. So to be honest, we only had like 2 full days to go around, and one of those days we were on a walking tour. So we had a tour guide who spoke perfect English and he basically did all the talking for us. Yeah, I would say if you're going for quite a long time, then maybe it's worth learning some, but if it's just for a few days, you can get by with English perfectly fine. Everyone would understand you. What did I love and hate about Prague? I really, really liked the architecture. It was very pretty. To be honest, like, a lot of the buildings were quite beige. That came out very weird. A lot of the buildings are quite beige, but at night it's absolutely beautiful. Like, the lights just hit the building so perfectly. My face is itchy. Yeah, so I would say architecture is one of the best things about Prague, in my opinion. And during the walking tour, they were explaining about the history of all the buildings and the castle and this and that, and it was so interesting. And I'm not really one to love history, but it was very, very interesting to hear about, you know, why they were built and what's happened in those places. And also because there were only literally 4 of us in the walking tour, we got very, how to say this, very close with our tour guide. So it was very much a one-to-one conversation. It was a lot easier to really immerse yourself in the place and the history of it because they are right there talking to you. So if you don't listen to them, it's like, bro, why are you so rude, kind of thing. And yeah, the food was really nice. See, I think food in Czech isn't everyone's cup of tea. I didn't try everything obviously, so there might be like loads and loads of food, but the ones I tried, they're so meat heavy and they like cheese, and it's just very heavy food. They like potatoes and meat and cheese. So if you don't like that, maybe I would say have a look online first, do your research on certain foods that you can have. For example, if you're vegan or lactose, I mean, lactose intolerance won't be that big of a deal because there'll be a lot of options. But yeah, the food is really, really nice. And things I didn't like, there really isn't any or many at all, apart from the taxis. And if you guys watch the Prague vlog, sorry, I don't know why that made me laugh. If you guys watch the Prague vlog, you'll know that we took one of the taxis outside the airport, which is stupid in itself. I don't really know why we didn't think to take an Uber, but you know, that happened. So we got charged probably 3 to 4 times more than what we were supposed to. But then again, that happens in every country. You know, taxi drivers and some stalls like markets and stuff will always try to rip you off. So I wouldn't say I hated it. It was just very, very annoying knowing that we paid literally 4 times more than what we were supposed to. And kind of relating to my previous answer, things that I learned in Prague is just don't take the taxi outside the airport. No matter what you do, you will get ripped off. Like for example, the Uber is so cheap. I think it's ridiculously cheap. For a 35-minute Uber from the hotel back to the airport on our last day, we spent 370 coronas. Coronas? I'd say coronas. We spent 370 coronas, which is, I think, around 12 to 13 pounds. Way, way, way cheaper than the 40 to 50 pound that we paid on the taxi coming to the hotel. Some of you guys were asking about things to do in Prague, and if you're only there for a few days, I would highly, highly recommend joining a walking tour. We did a 6-hour walking tour, which included a boat ride and lunch, and we got some refreshments at the boat as well. So we got to see the whole of the city via boat. It's my first time doing a walking tour, but it's so nice because we did the walking tour, I think, on the first full day that we had in Prague. And that way you can just see everything that there is to see in the city. And then you can make some mental notes of places that you liked or places that you want to go back to. And then, you know, the day after you can then go back to the places that you went to, that you thought, oh, this is really pretty, I want to come back, kind of learn more about the place and take some photos. I would say that's like the perfect layout for a holiday. I would just say maybe organize your time a bit better, because for example, I couldn't take any video, as in I couldn't vlog, and I couldn't really speak on a vlog. That's why I didn't have many speaking parts during the walking tour, because it was such a small group for us that I felt very rude to, you know, be talking to a camera while the tour guide is there explaining the history of all the places we're going to. But yeah, and then definitely eat at traditional Czech restaurants. I will put on the description bar the places that we went to for restaurants and kind of what we had, if you want. And yeah, so I really like it because I'm quite a meat heavy eater, and I love cheese, I love carbs. I just love anything fat, to be honest. And I really enjoy the food, though I could only eat like once a day, maybe twice, because it's so heavy. And it also depends what time you eat, because if you eat maybe at lunch at like 2 or 3, honestly, you will be so full until like 9 p.m. And, you know, it depends if you want to have dinner around that time. And we also went to the hostel. We also went to the hotel spa because it was so cheap. Me and my mum, so 2 people, we spent £110 together, and we both did a 90-minute massage each and a half an hour facial each. So that's basically 4 hours worth together, and we paid £110. If you were in London, just the facial would cost you like that amount. So definitely maximize your opportunity. Use it up. Places to go and places to avoid. Everything that I'm going to be talking about in places to go will just be from the walking tour that we did. And honestly, I think my favorite part with Prague is around the Prague Castle area. So you've got the Prague Castle and this massive church. And in the church, it's got this really like beautiful stained glass windows surrounding the whole church. And when the sun shines in, you can see all the colors, and it's just really nice to look at, honestly. And yes, so if you go up to around the Prague Castle area, you can see the whole city from up above, because it's quite like high up on a hill. And they also have this Starbucks there which overlooks the whole place, and it was already, well, actually we were on a walking tour. I cannot speak today. We were on a walking tour, so we couldn't really stop by the Starbucks, but I think if you go on your own or you don't have like a time restraint, then I would definitely say go there, because it's just a nice way to relax and also see the city from above. Another place to go to is, again, part of the walking tour. Lunch was included for us, and we went to this medieval tavern restaurant, and it was really cool actually, because it's quite dark inside. It's all like candlelit tables, like wooden tables, and it's got these like statues. And then when we went downstairs to the toilets, we actually noticed, obviously it's not real, it's like replicas, but the whole ceiling were covered in like human skulls. So, I mean, you're not eating there, it's just downstairs on the way to the toilet. But it's just quite a cool vibe, because the whole area around the Prague Castle and this restaurant is very medieval and very historic, so it almost just completes your whole experience. So I would definitely recommend going there, and the food was really nice too. If you do the walking tour that I'm mentioning right now, I will put a link or maybe just the name down on the description bar. It includes lunch, the boat, and everything else I'm talking about, so you will definitely get your money's worth. And places to avoid, I wouldn't say avoid it, but just if you want to go up the hill where Prague Castle is, do not go at night, because me and my mum went at night because we thought we could see the lights of the city from the hill, but we didn't realize that they kind of bar the road right before you get to the viewpoint. So honestly, you would just climb. I mean, it's only like a 5-10 minute walk up, but you know, that's nothing to see because they literally bar it, so you can't even get close, and then you'll just be surrounded by these like really tall walls and not be able to see anything above you. Unless you're very tall, then feel free, but I wouldn't recommend that. So just go maybe like for sunset or just in the middle of the day. That's the best advice I would give, actually. What are the prices like in Prague? Everything is so cheap, as in like everything. We spent £400 in 4 days between the two of us. So me and my mum together spent £400, but on food and transport we only actually spent £150 out of that, because I broke it down here. The spa was around 110. We spent that £50 on taxi coming to the hotel, and the walking tour was it's around £45 per person. But then again, that's 6 hours including I think it's an hour of the boat ride, the refreshments, as well as lunch. So honestly, like, you know, it's worth the money. And yeah, so after the really expensive rip-off taxi, the spa and the walking tour, we only spent £150 between the two of us on food and transport. And then we spent £384 on paying for flights. We did book it 5 days, roughly 5 days before we went to Prague, and I'm not really sure how different the prices will be if you book it really last minute or really ahead of time. I think it'll be roughly the same. So 384, how much did we pay per person? 150, 190, 192, no. Yes, £192 per person, just about. I think that's correct. And yeah, the flights are quite expensive actually. So maybe if you look for more dates or maybe just book ahead, I'm not sure, but I think you can save a few pounds if you really put more effort into looking for tickets, because I kind of just got the first direct flight to go to Prague. So the most asked question regarding my Prague trip is the situation about the quarantine, and I am very happy to tell you that you don't need to quarantine at all to go to Prague and to come back to the UK. Prague, well, Czech Republic is one of the countries within the UK's travel corridor list. Don't even know how to say that. But the UK released a list of around 75 countries as of the 11th of August. I checked yesterday. Around 75 countries where you don't need to do quarantine to go and to come back. And Czech Republic is one of those. We didn't have to do anything special to get to Prague. Like the airport and security, immigration, everything was perfectly normal. They didn't have to check temperatures, they didn't have to check... They're cleaning the field outside. Sorry, I'm very easily distracted. They didn't have to check the temperatures, they didn't check swabs or anything like that. But there was a sign at the airport that they were starting to implement like thermal imaging kind of thing, just for temperature checks, but we didn't actually see any, so I'm not sure if they started it then or they were thinking of starting it. But I went to Prague, when did I go? Around the 17th of July, I want to say. So it's been around a month, so things could have changed by now. But from when I went, this is how things worked. And on the plane we had to wear the masks, and they made sure to keep the middle seats empty. Me and my mum, did I sit next to my mum? I think so. Me and my mum sat next to each other, but we had the middle seat empty, and I had the seat next to me completely empty as well. Masks are mandatory, and also while you're in Prague, in public transport, masks are compulsory, but everywhere else, like all the tourist areas and just in public, you don't need to wear any masks. It's only in confined spaces, like trams and buses, tubes. So coming back from Prague to the UK, it was pretty easy. There was nothing special going on, but there was an extra step where we had to scan this QR code with our phone, the iPhone camera, and you have to fill in this government form. It's a government form asking about how long you're gone for, are you planning on leaving the country in the next 14 days, what address will you be staying at. It says nothing on the form about quarantining. It's more just so they know where to contact you, basically, in case you've come into contact with anyone or in case anything changes in the situation where you're involved. They know where to contact you and where to find you. But it was very easy. They didn't even check, actually. However, when you get down the plane, we had to show proof that we have filled in the form. So I kind of just I screenshotted the submitted screen, and I also kept it on Safari just so it's very easy to find. But that's pretty much it. There was nothing else that we had to do regarding the whole corona procedure. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this somewhat useful. And if you have any questions which I haven't answered in this video, please feel free to comment or message me on Instagram, and I will make sure to reply to all of your questions. Please don't forget to like the video. No, here, like the video. And please, please, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon.